Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is more than a nostalgic reimagining of 1969 Los Angeles. It is the director's most personal and vulnerable film, a meditation on aging, relevance, and the creeping terror of becoming a relic within an industry that worships youth and reinvention. Behind the sun-drenched streets, neon lights, and the echo of the golden age of cinema lies the psyche of an artist confronting his own mortality, not in the physical sense, but in the creative and cultural one. The film becomes a mirror reflecting Tarantino's own anxieties that time, once his greatest ally, may now be his rival. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by Plex. For more information, stick around after the video to learn how to corral your movies, TV shows, and music from all your streaming services into one place. Stop scrolling, start streaming, get Plex. There was a time when Hollywood shimmered with untouchable grandeur, when movie stars were gods. Cameras rolled on reels set beneath the California sun, and the dream factory felt eternal. It was an era built on myth and illusion, where celluloid captured something larger than life, and the line between reality and fantasy blurred beneath the glow of the silver screen. To hold on to that time is to cling to a vision of America's creative innocence, a place where art, glamour, and ambition converged into something almost holy. Yet that grasp is tinged with melancholy, for the more one tries to preserve the magic, the more fragile it reveals itself to be, like an old reel of film, slowly fading into dust. At the heart of the story are two men, Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth, whose lives orbit one another like fading stars around a dying sun. Rick, an actor past his prime, is haunted by the erosion of fame, the sense that the industry that once adored him now tolerates him out of politeness. His tears, his desperation, his self-loathing, all of it becomes a vessel for Tarantino's own inner dialogue. Rick is not just a washed-up actor. He is a symbol of artistic decay, of a filmmaker who fears the day his work will no longer matter. In many ways, Tarantino's projection of himself through Rick feels like an unspoken confession. The realization that every artist who climbs the mountain of Hollywood eventually faces the valley of irrelevance. Cliff Booth, on the other hand, represents a different kind of acceptance. The stoic calm of a man who has already made peace with his insignificance. Cliff does not crave the spotlight. He exists in its periphery. Yet his quiet strength, his loyalty, and his unbothered detachment reveal a psychological counterpoint to Rick's spiraling insecurity. Cliff is what Tarantino wishes he could be. Or maybe that part of him is. Graceful in the face of fading relevance, content with the ride rather than obsessed with the destination. Their relationship, therefore, is not just a friendship. It's the inner conflict of an artist externalized. Rick is the part of Tarantino still fighting to remain seen. Cliff is the part that has accepted the sunset. The part that has instilled this rule that has now become infamous, that he will be done after creating 10 films. Set against the backdrop of Hollywood within transition, the film operates as an allegory for both a lost era and a vanishing identity. The 1960s represent the end of the studio system, the birth of the new Hollywood generation. Artists like Scorsese, Coppola, and indeed, the young Tarantino decades later, who reshaped cinema through rebellion. By situating his story in that precise moment in time, Tarantino positions himself as both observer and participant in a cycle of renewal and decay. The film industry, like time itself, devours its own heroes. The old ways die, so new visions can emerge. But what happens to those who once were the new vision? Tarantino, known for his mastery of genre and nostalgia, now confronts the idea that he may no longer be the future, merely the past celebrated by others. Even the film's structure and pacing betray this introspection. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood lingers. It wanders, meanders a bit. It indulges in the minutiae of daily life, the glow of a movie marquee, the hum of a radio ad, as if clinging to the sensory details of a time before digital detachment. This is Tarantino reminiscing. This is the film's refusal to rush, which is in itself an act of defiance, a statement that artistry cannot be measured in speed or trendiness. Yet beneath that confidence lies a melancholy. Tarantino is preserving a world that can no longer exist, and perhaps he knows that his own brand of filmmaking, tactile, referential, analog, may someday share that same fate. The Manson family subplot, though seemingly disconnected from Rick and Cliff's struggles, represents the violence of change itself. The intrusion of chaos into a carefully curated dreamscape of Hollywood mirrors the destruction of old ideals. When Tarantino rewrites history, turning tragedy into triumph, he performs an act of wish fulfillment, not just for the characters, but for himself. He is reclaiming the past, saving it from the ugliness of inevitability. In doing so, he temporarily silences his greatest fear, that art, no matter how beautiful, cannot stop time. The cathartic brutality of the film's climax is less about vengeance and more about restoration. The last gasp of an artist who wants to believe that cinema still has the power to rewrite fate. Tarantino has famously spoken about retiring after 10 films, a self-imposed boundary rooted in the fear of overstaying his welcome. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, his 9th, feels like a man preemptively mourning his own exit, a cinematic funeral for his youth and for the mythos of the filmmaker as a rock star. Yet, within that grief lies a grace. By embracing nostalgia with irony, Tarantino transforms fear into love. Love for the medium, for its forgotten players, and for that fleeting magic of creation itself. The film is both a eulogy and a love letter, a story of two men trying to hold on to their dignity as the world changes around them, just as its creator tries to do the same. Ultimately, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is less about what once was, and more about what remains. It is Tarantino's acceptance of the inevitable, the understanding that every director, no matter how iconic, will eventually become nothing more than a footnote in the history of the art they once revolutionized. But rather than rage against it, he romanticizes it, crafting a dream where the old guard still rides off into the sunset, triumphant and immortal. It is a fantasy, yes, but it is also a farewell whispered through celluloid, a moment of vulnerability from a man who built his career on swagger. For all of its humor and violence, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is, at its core, the story of a filmmaker staring into the mirror of his own myth, asking the question all artists fear: when the applause fades, what remains of me? Managing the overwhelming number of streaming services that we all subscribe to can be a nightmare, making us wish for some sort of one-stop destination for all of our movies, TV shows, and music. Well, thankfully, Plex has the answer, bringing together free ad-supported movies, shows, and live TV with the power to search and add to your watch list any title ever made, no matter which streaming service it's on. Plex keeps everything in one place, even for theater releases. Discover more and search faster by customizing your experience. Add friends, share thoughts, and find your next binge-worthy title. Track your favorite actors with Discover credits. See all their movies and shows in one place. Stream your own movies, TV shows, music, and photos anywhere on any device. And best of all, Plex is a free streaming app for everyone, supported by ads that help bring you content from partners like Lionsgate, AMC, and even A24. Stream instantly from your computer, phone, tablet, game console, smart TV, or streaming media player. While you don't need an account to use Plex, signing up does give you extra benefits, such as your own universal watch list, the ability to customize search results, seamlessly watching across all devices, and more. And if you want to unlock even more incredible features, consider joining Plex Pass, Plex's premium subscription, which gives power users advanced features for managing personal media libraries. Just follow the link down in the description today to join more than 17 million users worldwide who trust Plex as their entertainment concierge, helping them discover, organize, and enjoy the best content across all of their favorite platforms. Stop scrolling, start streaming, get Plex. Well, friends, that's gonna be all for now. If you are interested in this film, I urge you to check it out for yourself and formulate your own thoughts and opinions about it. I hope you come share those thoughts and opinions in the comments. Let me know if there are any movies that you would like to see discussed on this channel. I always love to hear from you guys, and I do my best to try and respond to everyone. As always, I've put a link down in the description to a physical copy of this film, if one exists, that you can add to your collection. Using that link helps out the channel, and that's always appreciated. If you like this video, I urge you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already. I know that some of you watching aren't subscribed, so help out the channel and subscribe. If you'd like to go the extra mile and support the channel even more, we do have a couple options for you to do so. You can join us on Patreon, where you can get yourself early access to future videos, Patreon exclusive content, and access to the ETF Digital Archive. We get a lot of compliments about the VHS collection that you guys see in the background of our videos. Well, we've been hard at work slowly digitizing the collection and creating a place where we can share it with all of you. Thanks to the help of the Plex platform, we can now do just that. This is our way of doing our part in helping preserve that gritty, nostalgic VHS look and feeling before it's gone forever. With Plex, you can stream our VHS collection from anywhere at any time. It's basically like having a streaming service for VHS, which I think is pretty cool. Additionally, if you're tired of adding to your growing list of monthly subscriptions, you can help support the channel on Ko-Fi, where you can drop a single tip, the cost of a cup of coffee, or less. No pressure, no tiers required. But with all the same monthly benefits that you will find on Patreon offered as well. We also have a Mercari store where you can go and get yourself a little piece of the ETF archive. While collecting VHS, Blu-rays, and DVDs over many years, we wind up with lots of duplicates, and we unfortunately can't store them all. So on our Mercari shop, we have all of those for sale. Purchasing those not only expands your collection, but makes room for us to expand ours. All the links for everything are down in the description. Until next time, stay safe. And as always, thanks for watching.